Welcome to the ProGuard official video for coating RV roofs. ProFlex Primer and Liquid Roof are the industrial strength way to create a super durable EPDM rubber coating for your RV's roof. Liquid Roof is ProGuard's EPDM liquid rubber product providing superior roof protection since 1995. This is the only ProGuard authorized video for the application of ProFlex and Liquid Roof for mobile roofs. Videos on YouTube are unsuitable for instruction and are to be avoided and are not made by ProGuard trained professionals but by inexperienced do-it-yourself folks. This detailed video and the downloadable instructions are required to be reviewed carefully to achieve the best results possible with ProFlex and Liquid Roof. Coating an RV is best done over a 2-day period. Day 1 is for cleaning, prep, and making repairs. Day 2 is for applying the rubber coating. If necessary, the primer coat may be applied early on the second day to allow for the minimum drying time for the primer. Regardless of what type of roof you have, the ProGuard coating system is the optimal way to seal it in a single membrane of EPDM rubber, the toughest coating available, and the same super tough EPDM rubber your roof is made out of, but in liquid form. Regardless of the condition, your roof will have a double layer of protection and a single seamless rubber coating over everything. Over time, your roof surface will wear off or wear down, developing cracks in the surface, but more importantly, in the seams and sealants used on your appliance fixtures, which will break down. This is how leaks get started, and as you probably know, where the leak starts and where it leaks into the RV is a frustrating experience to pinpoint and nearly impossible. By using liquid rubber, you'll create a single membrane seamless coating over both the roof surface and every seam and appliance juncture. This leaves no seams to degenerate and become leaks. Coating your roof is also a chance to do some preventive maintenance and have a good look at what's going on up there. Here's a cable connection which is falling apart. This and other potential problems will be solved in your coating process. Day 1. First things first, safety. Make sure the RV's stabilizers are in place to keep the RV from rocking while working. If you don't have stabilizers, use jack stands to prevent rocking back and forth. Remove all the appliance covers as you will need to coat under them. Put all the nuts and bolts in one place for later. This is also a perfect time to clean your skylights, which get rather dirty even though they are under protective covers. They will let in much more light after this. Clear out dirt and debris which accumulates, like these 2 bees' nests found in this air conditioning unit. Sweep away any accumulated dirt as best as possible. To get the best adhesion of the primer coat, a good washing is required. ProGuard recommends a cleaning solution of 3 gallons of hot water, 3 cups of dish soap, and 4 cups of bleach. This loosens dirt, which gets rather bound to the roof surface over time and lessens good adhesion of the coating to the roof. Remove any loose patches or other fixes from previous leaks. They are no longer necessary. Rub the cleaning solution into the surface with a stiff brush, loosening the held-in dirt. Let it soak for 30 to 40 minutes, but don't let it get completely dry. Then, using a power washer or high-pressure nozzle, rinse the roof thoroughly. This is also a chance to clean your skylights and other appliances, such as TV antennas, from the dirt and moss which collects on them. Use care in washing uncovered skylights, as the plastic grows brittle over time and can be easily damaged by high pressure. This is also the time to wash appliance covers inside and outside. And finally, rinse the RV walls of what just ran off the roof. After rinsing, let the roof dry thoroughly before applying the primer. If you have compressed air, use it to speed this process up. Using a very wide masking tape, mask off the areas where the coating is not desired. If your vehicle has rain gutters, they probably are holding the original sheet rubber roof in place. You do want the place where the metal meets the rubber to be coated, but not beyond that. A wide tape makes it possible to create a drip tray of sorts by pressing the tape into the gutter. Where there are no gutters, you can improvise using the tape to create a drip tray of sorts. For edges where there are no gutters, 2 pieces of tape opposing each other do a nice job. Use 1 piece of tape, leaving half of it exposed. Then using another piece, create a small wall. Now you won't be dripping on your own RV. Be careful to remove the gutter channels, as they can be clogged up with coating, and tape them carefully so they can be reinserted later. The primer in the kit is ProFlex, a flexible epoxy which comes in 2 parts in quart sizes. Also included are 2 quarts of powdered cork. You will coat the entire roof with ProFlex first, but before that, the seams and problem areas must be prepped differently. This is done using the ProFlex mixed with the powdered cork. ProFlex primer mixed with powdered cork will form a paste which can fill in gaps and seal up defects better than any caulking. Caulking that is drying up and failing or cracking will be sealed off with the ProFlex cork paste first, then coated over with ProFlex, then with rubber. To prepare the mixture, use a drill and a mixing bit. First, re-stir the ProFlex A by itself and then the ProFlex B by itself. Then pour part A into a 1-gallon bucket and slowly add part B while mixing thoroughly. Work the sides and the bottom of the bucket for thorough mixing. When properly mixed, there will be a smooth, consistent blue color. Now, slowly pour in 1 quart of the cork till everything is smoothly blended. You will have about 1 hour of working time to apply this mixture, and even less if the temperature is over 70 degrees, so plan your work carefully. This is why the roof needs to be fully prepped and ready to go ahead of time. Leave the other quart of cork for later, as it may be needed. Now you're ready to start applying the ProFlex plus cork over every seam. Apply a good thick liberal coat, and what you're trying to do is create a smooth coating that envelops all the previous defects, caulkings, repairs, bolts, nuts. Anything protruding becomes enveloped in this mixture. Take care to keep the cork off of things that need to be moved again, because they will not move after being sealed in with this mixture. Go ahead and apply a very liberal coat around areas where cables are going in, and particularly areas that have gotten a little complicated with other repairs. Here we're going to take care of that cable by creating a sealant, putting the housing back on, and then coating around the housing. Be careful around appliances like this that are supposed to move, that no coating has glued the appliance to the roof. Because the mixture is so thick, it's effective at filling in large cracks or joint areas such as this one. After settling a bit, you should have a relatively smooth seal on every seam or boundary. After some settling, you'll notice which gaps were too large to fill with this mixture. To address this, a thicker material is needed. You can create this by adding additional cork to the remaining mixture. Add it slowly till you have the thickness of a paste. Again, add it very slowly and you won't use the whole quart, just enough to make it thick. Once you have that set up, fill in the cracks and holes that are a little too big. This will again be sealed over with another layer of ProFlex and then the liquid rubber. This is particularly useful for not just deeper cracks, but joins like this, which are now going to be unified. For areas that you can't get into with a brush, this little device, which is a cake decorating kit, will help you make a makeshift caulking gun. This one was bought at a dollar store for $1. It comes with several nozzle sizes. Use the largest one. Now take some of the mixture, push it into the bag. And now you effectively have created a little caulking device that can squeeze this material into cracks or gaps or things that the brush can't easily reach. Now's a good time to check your work, particularly to make sure that the things that should be moving are still moving. Also check that your gutters are still clear. Use Xylene and a rag to wipe off any excesses here or anything that has dripped onto the RV. Once all seams and appliances are sealed with ProFlex plus cork, you are ready to mix and apply the ProFlex primer. ProFlex comes in 2 cans. You will be using gallon cans. You'll need a 5-gallon mixing bucket, ordinary paint brushes, paint mixer, can openers, a serious screwdriver if you're using the large size, a mixing bit of this specific type, large and metal, a short nap roller, not medium, not long, a floor squeegee of the soft sponge type. Here is a more common version that you would find at a local hardware store. 18 inches is a good size for RVs. ProFlex comes in 2 parts, Part A and Part B. It is important that you mix Part A by itself, re-stirring what has maybe settled in the can. And then stir up Part B as well. It's good to note that it is useful to have a quart of xylene on hand with some rags. Proflex is pretty much like a glue or epoxy, which is what it really is, and it will find itself attaching to pretty much anything. Xylene can remove it. Once stirred, pour part A into a larger bucket. Then, while mixing it, pour in part B slowly. What you're trying to achieve is a smooth blue color that's completely consistent. You will be applying Proflex over the entire roof surface. Start with a brush and coat over the areas of Proflex and cork that you just applied. What you're doing here is coating every area which is not easily coated with a roller. A relatively thin coat will do the job. Again, be careful that parts which need to keep moving or will receive other bolts and nuts are still accessible and not going to be epoxied to the roof. Again, what you're trying to do is coat everything that's not easily done with a roller. Now, applying Proflex. First, pour out a puddle. The roller is not to be used for spreading. This procedure here now is just to wet the roller. Spread the puddle using the soft rubber squeegee. Use the squeegee to coat the roof. You're going to use the roller to even the coating. You do not need a thick layer here. Be sure and use the squeegee to spread and coat the roof. The roller is for evening out the coating, not for spreading. Once you've spread an area, go back over it with the roller, using very little or no pressure. The weight of the roller itself should be sufficient, but you don't need to push down on it. What this does is ensure that the coating, which is spread, has an even thickness. Continue this way to coat the entire roof. That's the end of day 1. On day 2, use a dry mop to remove every bit of moisture from the ProFlex. It is essential that liquid rubber be applied to a dry surface. Use your hands to check for dryness, not just your eyes. When ProFlex dries, it has a tackiness to it that makes a little ripping sound, and your shoes will slightly stick to it. This is perfect for adhesion to the liquid roof, which is going to be applied next. ProFlex binds perfectly to any roof surface, and liquid roof binds perfectly to ProFlex. Liquid rubber comes in 2 parts, the rubber and the catalyst. The rubber coats approximately 42 square feet a gallon. This means that on an 8-foot wide roof, you'll be able to coat about 5 linear feet per gallon. Remove the plastic ring on the can with a tool or a pair of pliers. With a drill and a mixing bit, start spinning the rubber and then add the entire contents of the catalyst to its vortex. Liquid roof is white and the catalyst is purple. Mix them very thoroughly up and down the sides and bottom of the can to be sure all the purple disappears and you have only white. Once the catalyst is added, you have about 2 hours of working time. For this reason, it's better to mix a gallon at a time, particularly if you're doing this for the first time. It is most important to get the best results that the catalyst is thoroughly mixed. As you can see in this video, even after a certain amount of mixing, there's catalyst on the walls that needs to be mixed in, so do a good job on this to ensure a quality product. As with the ProFlex, use a brush to coat the sides, around the appliances, and anywhere it's not easy to get at with a roller. You can't overdo it on using the brush because that just makes everything you do with a roller easier. Particularly on these areas, apply a decently thick coat. On areas where ProFlex and cork have been used, apply even a thicker coat. Now you're ready to complete the job using the pour, spread, and roll technique. But first, to get the right thickness of rubber, you need to pay attention to the square footage. To better estimate the amount of coating to be spread, putting tape markers on the roof will help. Each gallon of liquid roof covers about 42 square feet, so that means on an 8-foot wide RV, you will do about 5 linear feet per gallon. Make a tape marker out of masking tape and place a couple of them every 5 feet of the RV. These are then easily pulled off as you reach them in your process. Using the same technique used to apply the ProFlex, pour out a quantity of rubber and spread it using a fresh, soft rubber squeegee. Again, the real coating is done with the squeegee and the roller is to even out what the squeegee spreads. Then, using the roller, go over the same area to even out the coating. It will self-level after rolling, so don't try to make it perfectly smooth. Be aware of your usage, so you use 1 gallon for every 5 feet of RV length. That way you have the proper thickness of coating. Of course, start at the front of the RV and work your way back. Pour, spread, and now even with the roller. Again, a light pressure is all you need. Whatever rippling effect you see, do not try to smooth it out with the roller. It will level out all by itself. To have one more look at this technique, here is how our professionally trained industrial roofers use the same technique on large-scale roofs. They use the same soft rubber squeegee, and use the pour, spread, and roll technique. Notice how lightly the rolling is done. Again, the material will self-level, so don't try to smooth it out with the roller. Pour, spread, and roll. Simple way to a perfect roof. Once you're off the roof, finish up detail areas you couldn't do while you were up there. And now you are essentially done. Now your roof is EPDM tough, the same material it came with, except now in a perfectly seamless barrier with no holes or junctures. ProFlex and Liquid Roof. The industrial strength double layer protection for your RV, only from ProGuard.